About 3 weeks ago, my wife and I went to Texas to visit our son and his wife. And throughout the week that we was there, they made several different things, planned different things for us to do. And one of those was really pretty neat. It was to go to a drive-in movie, which I haven't gone to a drive-in movie for a long time, nor her parents also went along as we were celebrating her birthday. The thing is, though, she got to choose the movie. And, you know, in Texas, everything is big. And there were not one screen, but 7 screens. And some of those screens were big screens. So there was a lot of selections. Guess what we got to watch? Finding Dory and Jungle Book. Now, for those of you that don't know who Dory is, she's an animated fish. She's a tropical fish. And Dory is also a special needs fish. She had difficulties in maneuvering around. She was kind of clumsy. She bumped into things. She had special needs. And her mother and her father always came to the rescue for her. Her mother and her father actually, every time she did something to help her, they told her, Dory, you need to focus. You need to know what you're doing and think about what you're doing. You need to be attentive. You need to pay attention to what you're doing and to things. And to recognize is the third one. Recognize things around you. Recognize your environment that's around you. Recognize the dangers that might be around you. As months go by, Dory starts to grow up a little bit, and she is allowed to go venture a little further. So one day she goes off by herself. She goes a little beyond where she's ever been. And she got caught up in this huge tidal wave, which took her a long, long way from home. Dory was lost. So if you could imagine her with those special needs, how could she ever find her mom and dad again? And that's what the rest of the story was about. And she used her mom and dad, the lessons that they taught her, to get back. Today, we have another beautiful story in the gospel, the story of Martha and Mary. They were both very good ladies. They were both focused. They were both attentive. And they both recognized Jesus. Mary was very recognizing of Jesus through the whole endeavor when Jesus was visiting them. But Martha was focused. She was attentive. She attended to taking care of things, using the gifts that God gave her to use. And she recognized Jesus when he came in. But her focus went away. She became more focused on herself than on Jesus or her sister. She actually complained to Jesus that her sister wouldn't help her do the cleaning, while her sister and Jesus were paying very much attention to each other. There's something that we can learn from that. Mary, as Jesus said, chose the better part. As we go through life, we also, it's very important for us to focus, to be attentive, and to recognize. And there's so many different ways that we can be like Martha in what we do, in the work that we do. And better yet, we can be like Mary and stay focused and attentive to the better part as we do whatever it is that we do. And that is to focus on our Lord Jesus Christ in what we do. Whether it's at home or work or at school or at church, wherever it happens to be, we can focus, be attentive, and recognize Jesus in our surroundings. So a couple examples of this at home: mothers and fathers, and brothers and sisters, we can focus on the family. Those of us that are working can pay attention to what we are doing at work, but yet, while we're doing that, we can pay attention to Jesus also. Now, does that mean we're going to be paying attention to what Jesus says the whole time that we're working? Probably not, because we have to focus on what we're doing sometimes also. But we can be attentive to the way that Jesus wants us to work, to give up of ourselves and what we are doing and to get into it, and to recognize the choices that we have to make. Another example would be our Pax Christi ministry. And actually, that's just one I chose. It could be any of our ministries or any of our committees that we have at All Saints. But in the Pax Christi ministry, they hopefully are focused on those shut-ins or hospitalized or those in the nursing homes when they go to visit them. And hopefully they are very attentive to them, to hear what they are saying and not be concerned about themselves like Martha was in the story today. And then to also recognize Jesus in them. Today we have a very good opportunity to recognize Jesus as we are working or at the church picnic today. As we invite others, we want to recognize all those that we are working with, those side by side working with us, those that take care of something and they've kind of always done that, and that, how some don't want to let any room for anyone else. But if we can recognize that everyone is Christ, and we can find Jesus there. You see, I found Christ as Dory was finding out who she was. I found Christ in her. I didn't know it at the time, getting there and watching the movie that starts at around 9:30 at night and doesn't get over both features until about 1:30, you kind of lose focus a little bit, especially an animated cartoon. But it continued to stay with me, and I found Jesus in that movie. We can find Jesus in anything, and this is the better part, searching and looking for Jesus. One of our shut-ins, I asked them one day, they're in pain most of the time. And I asked them, can you find Jesus in your pain? And they said, yes, I can. They say, I pray to Jesus all the time. I'm always talking to him. If somebody was watching me or seeing me, they would think I was crazy. And I pray to him before I get up, that I can get out of bed without falling. And then walk around, as I'm walking, I pray that I don't fall. As sometimes people, as they get older, they lose some different things, and balance is one. And it's very scary. And just like Dory, we all, whether we're homebound or whether we're in top physical condition and everything is good, we have special needs. We definitely need Jesus in our life all the time, and we need to learn what he teaches us. And then when we are out busy doing things for him in his name, we know how to do it. We recognize the right way to do it. Like Dory, who was lost with her parents, we are truly lost without Jesus. Today, Jesus invites us to the better part. He invites us to focus on him, to be attentive to him, to recognize him in the Eucharist today and every day, and in our prayers and throughout the day. But he also asks us to go out and to focus on what we are doing as we use the gifts God gave us. He asks us to be attentive to others, those who are around us, at home, work, school, wherever it might be, in all that we do. today is the day that we choose the better part. Every day is the day that we should choose Christ.